Hey guys, welcome back to the Charge Go channel, and in this video I'm going to talk about being a Rivian owner for over 4 months now and driving over 4,000 miles. So far it's been a generally good experience. There have been a few issues, a couple of which I've talked about in a previous video which I will link to, but there have been some new issues as well, and there have been some new good experiences too. So please stay tuned till the end to hear all about these. By the way, in case any of you guys missed it, we had wrapped the Rivian R1T, so let us know what you think about the wrap in the comments down below. So the good news is that the issue that I thought was the worst issue, which I previously discussed, has not came back. What was that issue? That was an issue where the display of the vehicle was saying that the four-wheel drive was not working anymore and I have to service the vehicle immediately. Now, that issue was resolved by just doing a hard reset of the computer of the vehicle, and that was fairly simple to do. And after that, that issue has not come back at all. I've never had to do a hard reset for that particular issue at this point up until now, after having to do it once after getting the vehicle in February. But there have been a couple of other issues besides the two other issues I talked about in the previous video. So what has been new is that I've noticed a clicky sound coming from the vehicle when I'm driving. So this little sound comes from near the door panels, and particularly the driver's side door panel. That might be because that's the one I hear most because I'm nearest to it, obviously, when I'm driving. But there's a clicky issue that comes when you drive on some rough surfaces and you hear that little clickety sound coming from your left side as you're driving the vehicle. Now, this might be related to another issue that also has to do with the door panels. So the windows have a plastic trim that go around them, a frame type of trim that is visible from the exterior of the vehicle, but has to be inserted and sealed through the gap between the windows and the door frame. Now, it being a new vehicle with a new design, I think they haven't thought it through completely. So what has happened is that the particular material that it's made with, the particular plastic, I think what happens is it doesn't react well to being under the sun a lot, and it expands and it causes the trim to kind of deform. It's usually not noticeable unless you're very close to the vehicle, and then you could notice the deformation of the trim around the window. Now, when it deforms, this causes fitting issues, and sometimes where it's supposed to fit nicely and neatly into the frame or between the door frame and the window, sometimes that frame goes out of whack, and I think this is what led to the clicky issue which I have now. Now, the frame around the window issue was actually super simple to resolve because I put in a service request for Rivian with this issue. I took pictures of it, I submitted it through the app, and they set up a service appointment, and they actually did a mobile service appointment. So they came out to my house and they fixed the issue around the windows. How they fixed it was just replaced the frame or the trim around the window. Now, even though it seems that the trim is put on as well as it can be, I think I do need to put in a service request for this clicking issue, which may or may not be related to the fitting of this trim around the window. So I'll keep you guys updated on that after I put in the service request for the clicking issue. There was also this really weird issue once where it seemed kind of concerning at the time, but it's never happened since. But it seemed to be either smoke or steam, or maybe a combination of the two, coming out the right-hand side of the front of the vehicle, seemingly from near the tire right there. And it was a really weird issue, and it happened right after actually going at really high speeds with the Rivian for racing with a Model S Plaid and a Tesla Model 3 Performance. And after the racing, we also played around with the suspension of the Rivian R1T, and perhaps that combination of the racing with the braking and then playing with the suspension caused something to go astray, and just smoke or steam started coming out the side of the vehicle. It might have just been the suspension cooling or the brake cooling, some combination of the two, and it happened for about 30 seconds and it went away. We actually uploaded a video on that too, so you can check that out, but I'm posting a clip here as well. And it was a super weird issue that is still not super clear what exactly happened, but it's something I guess I should tell you guys about. If you see it too, know that you're not alone. Any other issues that I've experienced, really have been relatively minor compared to that. I don't like how sometimes there's a pretty substantial delay of when you approach the vehicle with the Bluetooth on your phone, with the Rivian app running in the background or open. There's sometimes an issue where you just have to wait a little bit before you could actually open the door, because of course you have to wait for the door handle to come out, then you could pull open the door handle, then you could get in. But until that happens, there's like a couple second delay that is oftentimes, it's a little bit annoying, but you get used to it and you just know to sometimes click to unlock the vehicle right before you approach it. But I hope through software updates, Rivian gets more efficient with this and the vehicle unlocks immediately as you approach the vehicle, and that gap is not there anymore. So I think Rivian has generally been good with their software updates. They've listened to customer complaints and have been pretty responsive in that sense. One other thing I wish that Rivian would have is a valet mode in the software. I wish that before giving the vehicle to a valet driver, I could put it in valet mode so I know that my information, for example, is safe and they won't be able to know where my home address is, for example. But overall, it's been running very smoothly, except for these particular issues, of course. And I generally charge the vehicle at home. I have a level 2 charger installed at home, the Rivian wall charger, but sometimes I do need to get an extra boost and I have to go to an Electrify America station for that. Now, Rivian has just recently announced that they're partnering with Tesla to allow Tesla superchargers to be used for Rivians, but that's not going to come into effect until 2024. So I still have to use Electrify America stations for supercharging or fast charging when I need that, particularly on road trips and sometimes when the battery is really low and I need to charge really fast. So this vehicle is an overall beast. It's pretty amazing to be in a 7,000-pound vehicle and be able to do donuts like that in a pickup truck. I don't think any other pickup or vehicle of this size can handle doing these types of maneuvers this well. I would recommend this vehicle to most people. What is a little weird about it is how it doesn't have a step to go in the vehicle like a lot of pickup trucks do. But if you keep the vehicle on low mode in the suspension, that's generally not an issue. But most experts recommend not lowering and raising the suspension a whole lot because that messes up the alignment of the tires. And when you take your wheels for an alignment check, you would see that it's kind of out of whack. If you do raise and lower the suspension a lot, it creates some sort of camber with the frame of the wheel supports, and that causes the alignment issues with the tires and causes the interiors of your tire or the exteriors to wear out faster or slower than the rest of the tires. But overall, the Rivian's been an absolute beast. We are going to go on a road trip with the Rivian from Los Angeles to Las Vegas. We will be filming that and we'll keep you guys updated on how that goes, and we'll see if we need to stop for a charger. We'll start at full charge and see how well it could handle the range. So this will be a range test too with the Rivian. So stay tuned for that video and make sure you guys are following this channel, subscribe to this channel, like this video if you liked it, and follow us on all social media. Please leave a comment on what else you would like to know about the Rivian, what else should we do with the Rivian. So stay tuned.